We've got this from The Hill. Trump calls for mystery drones to be shot down. Please, everyone, for the love of all that is holy, do not shoot at these drones. It is a very serious federal crime. Do not do it. Trump is not calling for regular people to do it. President-elect Trump on Friday called for authorities, you see, to shoot down these drones. Also, they shouldn't either because bullets come down. Mystery drone sightings all over the country. Can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? I don't think so. Let the public know and now. Otherwise, shut them down. DJT, the incoming president, wrote on Truth Social. The post comes as there have been mounting reports of sightings. Okay, well...
Did he misspell it? Is it really...
He has 2 spelling mistakes in that tweet. He could have proofread that one.
You know,
he doesn't need to.
I thought there was someone that wrote his...
That's what I thought. We saw that video.
He dictated them, and then someone else was typing them out.
Maybe he's using
Put it up.
Siri or something.
Maybe they don't want to correct him.
I mean, that's probably true.
Oh, yes. It's shot.
It's
What was the second? Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah.
He wrote, I don't think so.
Well, that was just a self-shout-out.
Yeah.
Donnie T.
So check out this story from NewJersey.com. Many drone sightings are just planes, White House says. I got to be honest, I completely agree. Fox News had this interview with a guy who was like a drone expert. And he's like, I have looked at hundreds of these videos. Hundreds. They're just airplanes. And you know what it is? It's mass hysteria.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about St. Vitus dance, which
Yeah.
is where entire towns just started dancing for no reason in medieval Europe. And it
that
was
was the
a mass
aliens.
psychosis that spread. Again, it's all aliens. Yeah. But it spread from person to person. People just start dancing. And you said they danced until they were...
Until they died of dehydration.
Yeah.
So the legends go. I don't know if that's true.
I mean, there is such a thing as mass psychosis.
What is it? What is it called? Saint
Look at COVID.
Saint what's dance?
St. Vitus dance. Vitus.
Oh, it's a disease, a nickname for Sydenham's chorea, a movement disorder that's caused by strep.
Ah, so it was a disease.
Really?
There's also St. Anthony's fire. Did you ever hear about that one?
St. Elmo's fire?
No, St. Elmo's fire is the plasma. St. Anthony's fire, they were looking into what caused it because entire towns would just go completely nuts. And it was a fungus in the grain. It was ergo. And that is what LSD is synthesized from.
So it's the dancing plague of 1518.
There we go.
An event in which hundreds of citizens of Strasbourg, a free city in the Holy Roman Empire, danced uncontrollably and apparently unwillingly for days on end. The mania lasted for about 2 months before ending as mysteriously as it began.
That's amazing. So you think the same thing is happening with these drones?
She was unable to stop and kept dancing until she collapsed from exhaustion. After resting, she resumed the compulsive, frenzied activity for days. Within a week, more than 30 other people were afflicted.
That's
there music?
wild, dude.
I don't know.
I think you're onto something as far as it being a mass psychosis event.
They think it was ergot. They think everybody was eating infected. Investigators in the 20th century suggested that the afflicted may have consumed rye flour contaminated with fungal disease ergot, which made them just lose their minds.
That's how Albert Hoffman got LSD, was looking into what caused St. Anthony's fire. And he isolated this one piece of grain and made LSD. So you can go crazy anytime you want.
Sick.
That is not good. But I think what's happening with the drones in Jersey is that people are hearing news reports of drones and they're going outside and there's like a plane in the sky and they film it. They're like, "Ooh, is that one?" And then they post it. Yeah. And they're just planes, man.
Yeah.
It really reminds me of that old video on YouTube, like years ago, where the guy said, "Have you seen the leprechaun? Y'all seen the leprechaun?"
Yeah, it's a leprechaun. That was
That's what it reminds me of. It seems almost exactly like that. It's people just trying to cash in on this big thing that's could be happening, but probably isn't.
Well, no, the leprechaun was 100% real.
Yeah, let's.
You didn't see it?
No, I didn't see it.
That was wild. Like everybody was just staring at a tree because some guy said it.
Yeah, it's so funny though. Look at his face too. It's like, you know,
Everybody seen the leprechaun? Say yeah.
But what's funny is we're sitting here laughing at it, and we're all victims to the exact same thing in every other way. New York Times comes out and says Bashar al-Assad flew to Moscow, and all of us just immediately say like, "Wow!" And then we're all saying, "Did you hear this thing happened?" And we literally just read a line of black and white text on a screen. We have no evidence. We just trust the New York Times that it happened.
That's the vast majority of our knowledge, though.
That's everything.
You know, like, I mean, there are things that people can go ahead and test and stuff, but for the people that do believe that we went to the moon, I happen to be one of them. We honestly just do believe that all that stuff is true. Like, none of us go out into the backyard and get a laser and shoot it at the mirror that they are alleged to have left up there and, you know, bounce it back.
Just like some people believe things about 9/11.
I believe the leprechauns did 9/11.
Leprechauns. That would explain how they got the nanothermite in there, wouldn't it?
Oh,
Exactly.
God. Crawl and suffer. Crawl and suffering.
Kind of rainbow effect.
So for those that don't get the reference, it was on the members only show. We were having a discussion with Ian, and I was trying to explain that like everybody chooses the source they trust and then follows it and then believes all of the evidence around it, but it's impossible to know literally everything about everything. Which is why I often say when it comes to philosophical conversations, if we trust the science as it is in mainstream, here's what we can conclude. However, it's likely wrong, as it often is proven wrong or adapted upon. And so with most stories, the best example is the Covington kids. Everybody just basically dancing plagued the Covington kids. A video came out showing almost nothing, a Native American guy banging a drum and a kid smiling. Everyone immediately assumed exactly what happened. They knew what happened, and they did not know what happened. And I saw that video, and I was like, "What?" Someone sent me a DM, and they're like, "Did you see this?" And I was like, "What is it?" And they're like, "Look what the kid's doing." And I was like, "What's he doing?" And they're like, "He got up in that guy's face." And I was like, "Oh, is there a video of that?" And they're like, "That's right." I'm like, "No, that's not what that is." Sure enough, we sifted through, someone sent me a live stream. I sifted through 2.5 hours. The kid never did. The guy it was the other way around. But people just believe what they're told to believe.
But that was a different time. Wearing a MAGA hat then,
Oh yeah, that was
as compared to now, yeah. Did you see Alex
true.
Stein with his jumbo MAGA on the plane the other day?
I did.
Oh, I don't
thing I've
even.
ever
What do
seen.
who cares? Owen
That was
Schroyer's
so
is
good.
bigger.
Yeah, but nobody cares now. Like
Nobody cares.
Well, they're
everyone's like, "Yep,
yeah, there's
nice."
so much Trump paraphernalia out there now because the grift has now switched sides.
Yeah.
Almost. It's like we are for it.
100%. Yeah, it's an interesting time.
Yeah, well, you recently went back to the old Big Apple, huh?
I did, yes.
And they were all just throwing pies and tomatoes at you.
Oh man, you can't even get around in that city anymore if you've been identified as the enemy.
But what really happened?
Totally fine. And
Literally nothing.
People are more based than you think. If you have conversations at bars, they're like, "Hey, and by the way, I don't go in for any of this crap. I just have to pretend to."
I think, and that's what sucks about it. I think most people are based. They're just scared to say anything.
100%.
Because they think other people aren't. That's what I described it a couple of years ago, a Mexican standoff. Everybody's looking at each other, wondering when someone else is going to get them canceled for saying the wrong thing, but they all agree with each other.
This is why it was such a surprise that Hillary Clinton won in the first place. There were so many people that were afraid to say that they were going to vote for Trump, and they were just lying to their friends because they were like, "What if I say that tell the truth?" And then when they get into the voting booth, they vote their conscience, and lo and behold, people are like, "Wow, I actually don't want the consistent line of Democrats to continue."
I really think we're seeing the final death throes of cancel culture. You can feel it. It's over.
I hope you're right. I think that we won a victory. I don't know that I believe that there is an overall victory. I feel like we won a battle, not a war.
The empire's going to strike back.
Yeah.
Yeah, people always describe it as a pendulum, and this just feels like if that is a description that could fit this model, we're just at the very end of the swing.
Okay.
So
Swinging back the other way, you think?
eventually, hopefully not anytime soon, but can never hide from it.
Well, I've been talking about the media. These big networks are going to buy back into the space, and they're going to try and reassert some kind of narrative. They're gonna. That's it. Unless in these next 4 years, industry pushes back, and I don't just mean podcasting space. I mean basically everything. We need. Seeing these commercials from Apple and Volvo, which are very, very family oriented, very, very good sign, because then these weirdo cultists are going to see the ubiquity of traditional values and not woke cult stuff. The issue is when these weak-willed moral cowards watch the TV and they see pride, progress, flags, and all of this stuff, they say, I know what I have to do to fall in line. That's what's allowed. And then they're told everyone else is an other and should be shunned. They say, okay, because they're scared. Ubiquity is what normies strive for or look up to. So if you see a billboard on every city street corner and there's people on it, the association in their mind is like, that's a famous person, and that's what is acceptable and that's what is true. And that's how these institutions have maintained power for so long. I'm telling people, like, this is why you buy Times Square billboards. Are not that expensive. I don't know why I'm the only one doing it.
Yeah, thanks for that.
But in all seriousness, it's not the most effective ad, but it is a sign of ubiquity. It's a sign of status. It's a sign of, like, we are conquering the space.
I was up next to the green M&M.
You, sir, Richie, you were on a Times Square, two Times Square billboards next to the green M&M.
Yeah, what an honor.
And the point of Times Square for all of these brands is ubiquity. It's so that regular people see you and recognize you as something above, like you are at the top of the mountain. Nobody's doing any of this stuff. I mean, I got to be honest, like Daily Wire should be doing this.
My old pal Marilyn Manson was also on the same billboard.
Oh, was he?
You know Brian?
Oh, at the same time. At the same time.
You know?
Dude, I called him Brian one time. He told me
like that.
never do that again.
Not like that at all.
Brian Warner.
What, you just call him Marilyn?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Marilyn. Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.